So, welcome back to another Remembering Forgotten Memories episode, and this one is how, when I was little, I was convinced my grandma's house had secret passageways in it. So, I think there was like a couple of reasons for it, but as near as I can tell, well, first, just so I can set the stage for this, my grandparents had like a 1940s ranch house. It was mostly like just a big long rectangular house, a little bit jutted off on a diagonal at the end for like the garage, but the rest of it was just like a big long triangle. It was like a good sized house and everything, just was long. So like there was like the garage, then the laundry room, up a couple of stairs, then you had in a perfect rectangle like living room, dining room, kitchen, family room, entryway, and the semi-creepy hallway down the rest of the house where all the bedrooms were, and, like, the one bathroom at the end of the hall. So, I think this all started when my grandma showed me the movie The Secret Garden, because I was pretty little, pretty young and impressionable, and we've all established I have a very, very vividly active imagination, and that was even more true as a little kid. So I could easily see where watching that movie for the first time with my grandma in her bedroom, quite possibly drifting in and off, like in and out of sleep a little bit with it, because I mean, again, I was pretty little, it was a live action movie, so at that age, had a hard time staying awake through those, because I was probably like maybe 4, but yeah, she was trying to show it to me, and I know it was not long after that somewhere in there, I got, like, this idea in my head that there was, like, a secret passageway in my grandma's house. Now, additionally, I also was an avid reader of the Babysitter's Club books. You may be going, yeah, right, Jen, like, how young would you have been reading those? Bitch, I was reading actual books, like books, not just like little kitty books, but actual books, at like 2. I could read all letters of the alphabet by 6 months old, so, just saying, my mom loved this as a party trick to hand me any, like, adult, not like porn, but like adult magazine, like, meant for just grown-ups, like, could be Vogue, could be like Reader's Digest, like, you know, meant for a grown-up, hand it to me, open it to any random page, and watch me read it. Out loud. Might get some of the pronunciations wrong, but pretty well could read it fairly flawlessly. Might get hung up on, like, really, really big words, but for the most part, already could read. Like that. So, not a big stretch that I was already reading chapter books before I was even in kindergarten. So, let us not forget that I associated strongly with Mary Ann. Later on, when I got to, like, the Mallory years, okay, so I kind of associated with her too, but first and foremost, Mary Ann was my girl, and there was, like, that one book that, there was something about, like, an old creepy farmhouse, and there was totally, like, this hidden passageway between the farmhouse and the barn, I think it was, if I remember right. And, like, there was something like, during a storm, like, they were going back and forth through it, like, it's been a long time since I've read those books, okay? The details are foggy, but I'm sure those of you who've read the books know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. So, I think, between these two things, given that my grandparents had this old ranch house, and also had a barn, I was convinced that there was a hidden passageway in their house. I don't know if I was convinced it went to the barn or not. I think I wondered if somewhere there was one that went to the barn. But I was at the very bare minimum convinced that there was a door in the back of my grandma's closet, which, for proximity here, in her bedroom, it's like her bed, nightstand, like one closet off to like the left that was my grandpa's, and forward from that was her closet down at the foot end of the room, along with like her vanity station, a bathroom over here, but off on, like, this little alcove, there was, like, a little TV on top of, like, a fireplace in there. So, if I was watching this movie in her bedroom, I was most likely chilling on her bed, watching the TV over here, but also had a clear view of her closet straight across here. So this is, I'm pretty sure, where my mind must have, like, jump cabled this together. And for years was convinced that there was a hidden door in there that led to a secret garden. One that looked curiously like the one from the movie. And honestly, it wasn't until I rewatched the movie when I was older that I realized that what I had in my head for what I was convinced was in the back of that closet came from this fucking movie. But, okay, so for several years, I mean, I spent most days of the week up at my grandparents' house after school and stuff anyway, but, like, it wasn't uncommon that, like, she'd be changing clothes for, like, going to the barn or coming back from the barn or whatever, and I'd kind of just be chilling and they're not really paying attention to her, but as she's doing that, I'm kind of, like, trying to snoop around, kind of peek around through the clothes, see if I can see any hint of a door in there. She'd be like, what are you doing? Nothing. Don't dig around in there. There's nothing you want in there. I mean, ultimately, she's right. There really wasn't anything I wanted in there. It was, like, clothes, some hats, her shoes, maybe some wigs off to one side, and, like, I think a basket of, like, old medical journal magazines and stuff that were in there that, like, she kept in binders, but that's literally all that was in there, but you could not convince me otherwise, that there was not somehow a door in there. I wasn't sure how to access it, because I think at some point, because typically, in all the times I would hang out up there, obviously being there that many hours, eventually I'd need a bathroom. Usually I'd just use the bathroom in her bedroom, the one that was her bathroom, because it had the lowest to the ground toilet, and being a very short ass, I liked that one best, because it was the easiest to get onto. So, since I'd be cruising through there anyway all on my own, not that uncommon, kind of sneakily make sure the coast is clear, sneakily poke through the clothes, feel all around the wall, trying to figure out where the hell is this door that I totally know is there. And eventually, I must have made enough noise or taken long enough to where she'd come looking for me. And, what are you doing in my closet? And, nothing. And then I have to go out in the living room or in the kitchen with her, and yeah. I think she was getting suspicious after a while of, what the hell is this child doing? But, again, there was nothing in there that, like, I could have gotten hurt on. There was nothing in there that, like, a kid couldn't see. It was just a matter of, what the hell is she doing? I know this kid's weird, but what is she doing? Yeah, that. So, fast forward a little bit. Summer between 2nd and 3rd grade, I would have been like 7 or 8, was the first time I think in my lifetime that my grandparents had gone back to Vermont for the summer. I mean, they did this every so many years anyway, but I think it was like either the first time in my lifetime or the first time I was old enough to know what the hell was going on anyway. So while they'd be away all summer in Vermont, our family would just go house sit in their house, you know, just live in there for the summer. It's a bigger house, it's a nicer house, why not? So, you know darn well, because of this, every chance I got, I was going through that closet, inspecting every damn inch of that back wall, trying to figure out, where is the doorknob, or the latch, or whatever it is, or is there a keyhole, what is it? And when I came up, like, finding nothing, I think I even, like, was naughty and emptied it out, and could find nothing but a bare wall. Now I was convinced. It was like in all the cartoons where it's a trap wall, where you press a spot or something, or like you move a candlestick and it'll like turn around or something. I don't fucking know, guys. But anyway, so now, alright, put everything back in, but now I'm like pushing on all different parts of the wall, trying to make it do the thing, because to be fair, by this age, yes, I knew that this was kind of a weird thing to be obsessed with, but the layout of that house, kind of an interesting, strange layout, because the distance in the hallway between that room and then the bathroom at the end of the hall, something's not lining up. I even took a freaking tape measure to prove my fucking point. And I measured the distance from the end of the hallway to, like, where the doorway to her bedroom started, figure out how many feet that is. Okay, then I went in that bathroom at the end of the hall, measured from one end of the room to the other, figured out how deep that is. Okay, so figured out, go back in the hallway, where does that line up with on the wall? Okay, so that would be about here. So then I went back in around where the doorway is, and measured to the back wall of her room, which, I mean, also was like the back of the closet, but also was the back of the room. Same wall. Measure here to here. Went back out in the hallway and brought it out, lined it up. There is a discrepancy here. Because there is legit enough room between point A and point B to where there could be a whole other secret room. Not a particularly big room, but definitely big enough to be a room behind that closet before the bathroom. What is that? What the hell is that? To this day, I actually don't know the answer to that, but my dad agreed that, yeah, it is a really weird design, because I even, like, I admitted to him what the hell I was doing, and I was just so, like, so curious about it. He's like, yeah, you're right. He helped me measure, too, a second time to prove that it was done correctly, and yeah, you're right, that doesn't line up. That's so weird. And it was like the house he was born and raised in, so he's just like, that is really weird. And like, we're knocking on the wall in different spots. Yeah, it's hollow there. What the hell? What's back there? What's in there? How do you get to it? What is that? My grandparents are gone now. I can't even ask them, but like, what is that? So now I was that much more convinced there has to be a secret trapdoor somewhere. I don't know if that's a panic room. I don't know if it's like a fucking secret passage. I don't know what it is, but there is clearly something behind that closet. I am not crazy. There is something in there. It's probably not a garden, but there is something back there. Oh my god. My dad was smart enough not to tell me at that age a very key piece of this story. Doesn't explain that part. But apparently there was, in fact, a secret passage in that house. That's just not where it was. But I'm like, I found this out as an adult. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because damn well, if I had known it as a kid, you best believe I would have felt the need to go explore it. And he damn well knew I would have. So that's why he could not take that chance. Wait until I was an adult and knew damn well I probably wouldn't do it then. But, oh my god. So, okay. Now I'm even more intrigued by this point, because now we have concrete scientific proof on my side that there is enough space for a whole ass room in there. What is in there? How do we get to it? I searched from every side. I searched from the bathroom side. I searched from the wall side. From Grandma's closet. The wall in there. All of that in her bathroom. Everything. Nothing. From the outside side in the backyard along the wall. Nothing. What the hell? What the hell? I have one potential theory now that kind of wish I'd thought of it then, but then again, if it had led to it, I don't think that I would have been brave enough to actually go through it. But, actually, I just realized there's actually 2 secret passages in that house that I know of concretely that do for sure exist. I don't think the current renters know of either one, but anyway, regardless. So, now I'm even more intrigued, and I'm like, every fucking thing in her bedroom I am pressing on, pulling on, trying to see if there's like a hidden latch somewhere, because I am so convinced that there is a secret room in there, and I want to know what's in it! I don't know if I was thinking there's like some Scrooge McDuck like vault in there. I don't know what I thought was in there at that point. I think I'd moved beyond the garden, although some small piece of my imagination still to this day wants to hold on to the belief of there being a garden in the back of her closet. I don't know why. I again blame that movie, but clearly there's something there. But anyway, so they eventually come home at the end of that summer, and as soon as like they'd all settled back into the house, I grill my grandparents about it. Like, oh my gosh, what is that space in between the bathroom and the bedroom? What are you talking about? They played dumb. Which, of course, just made me think that they're lying. They totally know about it, and they just don't want us to know what's in there. Just... I need to know that much more! You have no idea how much it kills me to this day not knowing what is in there, even if it is literally nothing but cobwebs and maybe, like, rats or something. I don't think they had a rodent problem in that house, so it's probably not rats, but, probably a bunch of spiders, though, but regardless. Anyway. So, alright. Fast forward several more summers. Now we're at the summer in between 6th and 7th grade. So I would have been 12 or 13 now. And we did this thing again, where they went to Vermont and we house sat for them. And this time, okay, by now, I mean, a lot of years have passed, and I've tried to do a lot of not-so-secret sleuthing in the meantime, between point A and point B. I think by this point, I had also assumed there must clearly be a secret passage between the barn and either the old barn, which was basically a shed, or, like, the building where, like, all the pony carts and things lived, or where, like, the wood chips were. Why there would be a freaking path to one of those, I don't know. The only one that would make sense is, like, from the old barn to the new barn. But again, I don't even know why that would be a thing, but as a child, seemed intriguing, seemed like a good story, seemed like something that I could get behind and really wanted to believe in, even though my grandparents were like, you're crazy, that is not a thing, that does not exist. Anyway, so, regardless, somewhere during this summer, my siblings and I realized that through the vents in the house, if you talked into one at one end of the house, you could hear clear as day whatever's said into it from the other end of the house, and somehow, like, we got it in our heads, hey, if there's, like, somebody living in that... Don't ask how it made sense that there'd be somebody living in the freaking space that there's no way of accessing or in or out, like, how they'd even be alive. Don't ask. Don't ask. But, like, regardless, we had it in our heads. I mean, if we can talk and hear each other through the vents in any vent in this house, to any point, if there's one in there, and there's someone in there, let's try to contact them. And you know exactly how this shit went down, right? Like, of course you do. Of course you do. We're children. You know exactly how children are, and you know damn well that each one of us trolled the others, pretending to be the person in the wall. Doing fucked up silly voices, pretending to be the secret person living in the wall, and making up a story as we went with it. As the person in the wall. And all of us would play dumb, like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I heard them too, and I talked to them. We suck. Anyway, like, we did this all fucking summer, okay? We were bored, and yet this was, like, in a house that actually had cable, something we did not have at home yet at that point. You'd think we'd be glued to the TV. No, we're talking through vents in the house to the person who lives in the wall. Something ain't quite right with us, man, like, just... I don't even know. I blame myself. Anyway, but yeah, so somewhere in there I got the idea in my head, maybe the secret passageway is in the fireplace. Your girl crawled in and got all fucking dirty, and for absolutely no reason whatsoever, trying to find this secret passage in the fireplace in her bedroom, and got in trouble for tracking ashes on the carpet that I then was tasked to clean up. Because, yeah, they expect that house to be as pristine as when they left it when they came back. I don't blame them. I would too. Oh, boy. Spoiler, there was no hidden passageway in the fireplace. But I even, like, brought, like, the fireplace tools in there, like, to have extra, like, if there's, like, a lever, maybe I can, like, hit it somewhere in here, hook onto it, whatever it is I need to do. Oy. What is wrong with me, man? I don't know. This was before they'd, like, not upcycled, but, upgraded This was before they upgraded all their fireplaces to gas fireplaces in that house. They were still old school ones at that point. So, yeah, that's great. Anyway, if they had been gas ones, we wouldn't have been able to get in there, but regardless. Anyhow. So they come back. And I grill them again. And now we're going on about the person who lives in the wall behind her closet. And now I'm pretty sure our grandparents just think all three of us are fucking nuts at this point. Like, what the hell is wrong with you guys? But, yeah, I don't know. But, yeah. They kept trying to convince us there is nobody living in the wall behind the freaking closet. Oh, goodness, there's no hidden person living in a crawl space in the house either, but... So anyway. Fast forward to as an adult in my 20s. And I'm reminding my dad, just kind of laughing about it, like, remember when, like, we used to try to find, like, the hidden door in the back of Grandma's closet, trying to find the secret passageway in the house? He's like, yeah, you want to hear something funnier? I was like, yeah, what? There actually is a secret passageway in that house. Spill. Where? We thought we went through every inch of that frickin' house. Where? Oh yeah, so I mean, you actually weren't entirely wrong, but you had the wrong closet. Go on. It was in my dad's closet. Are you fucking serious right now? Yeah, I can even show you where it is the next time we go up there. And this is while my grandparents were still alive. So, okay, at this point, now I'm like, alright. I have been preparing for this my entire life. Show me the secret passageway in the house. And I think I was hoping it would lead to whatever is behind the closet. Yeah, no, it was totally just like a ladder that went up into like the roof of the closet. And apparently there was a crawl space that went along the top of the house, like through the ceilings, from one end to the other. And apparently there was also a door that would let out into the living room. But there was also a second passageway that veered off. Apparently there was like a Y shape. One could get you into the living room, one could get you into like the storage space under the house. Which sounds creepy as shit. And as soon as he mentioned it, I knew exactly what he was talking about. Because every time we went to, like, go get Christmas decorations or whatever from that crawl space under the house, because, like, it was one of those basements where you couldn't access it from inside the house. You had to go outside, around the house, and it was, like, almost like storm cellar doors. And you go down in there. It's practically like a fucking crypt, honestly. It's really creepy. I never enjoyed it, even as a kid, even with, like, the spirit of adventure. Like, no, did not like that, because it was, like, yeah, one little hanging light bulb, and that's it. It was like a dirt floor in there and everything was like, oh boy, yeah, I still am like nervous remembering it right now. But I did recall as soon as he said it, I was like, oh my god, that's what the door in the back of that room is! He's like, yes! Yes, it is! Oh my god, and I had seen that door a million times and somehow it never ever once dawned on me to like ask what that was for. Or where it went. So, you're all wondering, I'm sure. So did you crawl through the secret passageway? Fuck no! Because as soon as I saw how narrow it was, and the fact that there is no lights in any of it, you're doing it in pitch darkness, so unless you're bringing a flashlight with you, good luck. Fuck that! Oh my god! What was the point of this space existing? Oh. Easy. Panic room space. It was an escape route. My god. My god. On the other hand, I'm over here thinking of it the other way around of, okay, so you're thinking of it as an escape route, but wouldn't that also have been like a way for an intruder to have gotten into the house feasibly? But then again, with it being, like, all narrow and, like, hella dark and shit, and how long that passageway would be before you could even, like, get anywhere with it, pretty sure a lot of people would have noped the fuck out of it long before ever getting anywhere. Like, oh, hell no. Yeah, that. He, like, was able to point out the exact locations of where it crossed, like, walking across the house. And it made perfect sense to me. And it made even more sense to me looking at, like, where the beams in the ceiling were. I was like, oh my god, it all makes sense now. Never even gave it a second thought in all those years until then I was looking at it and then I'm seeing it through new eyes. Wow! That is insane. That's so fucking cool, but at the same time, no one would expect it, which makes it more cool. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, I'm pretty sure most people, like, if they even found that, like, little trapdoor in the closet, they probably just thought it was extra storage space. They have no idea how far it goes. Holy shit! Holy shit! That is insane to me. Like, what? What? And keep in mind, this wasn't an ancient house or anything. This was my grandma's dream house that she designed and had built. She had this built this way on purpose! So of course I had to ask my dad, by any chance, does it go the other direction to where that empty space is? And he insists up and down, no. So I still don't know what the hell's up with that. Freaking crazy. Which, of course, finding this out about that grandparents' house, then I was convinced of, oh my god, did my other grandparents' house have secret passages? Because finding out where that was in the one grandparents' house and seeing what type of ladder led up, I was like, wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. I'm pretty sure I saw a ladder like that in my other grandparents' house. Did they have one too? But my mom reassured me that no, that wasn't anything like that. No, that literally was just a storage space that one led to. There was no passageway. It was literally just like a little alcove to stick shit in the back of a closet. So I guess back in the day, like, people just, like, had ladders and, like, hidden trapdoors in closets, be it for escape room purposes or be it for storage purposes. Like, what the fuck? But, yeah. That. Just absolutely crazy to me. I mean, technically, that grandparents' house, like, did have, like, a basement under the house that you could access from in the garage, but, like, again, it was very much unfinished basement, like, just dirt floor and crap. Like, I hated it. I went in there a few times. At least it was, like, a higher ceiling. Like, you could at least, like, kind of walk through there and, like, duck your head down and, like, be able to, like, do it even as an adult. And my grandpa went in there a lot, because that was where he stored a lot of the decorations for the different holidays and things. The Christmas stuff went in the attic because it took that much space. All the other holidays were in the basement. But I was able to look around as a kid in there. He had no problem showing it off to us, so, I mean, there was no mystery around that one. But, that space in that one closet, that was like, wait a minute. I do remember a ladder there, and I do remember a door. What the hell was that? But no, she was able to answer that, and before it was sold off, she did show it to me to reassure me that no cool secret passageway in this one. This is literally just like a little extra space, because it was really a tiny closet, so it gave a little bit extra space, but that was all. So, did any of you guys have any kind of, like, really ridiculous beliefs like that as a kid growing up, be they about your own house, about your grandparents' houses, anyone's houses, just any weird belief in general as a kid like that was just seemingly so far-fetched, and then find out, actually, you weren't that far off from the truth, as it turns out? Like, leave it down below, because I feel like this could be a fun discussion. So, anyway, yeah, this was a longer one, but I felt like it was totally worth telling because there's a lot here to tell. But anyway, that's it for this one, guys. So as usual, you know what to do. If you like If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my eBay, my Reddits, everything and more, it's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Anyway, guys, till next time, see ya.